Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a 5-piece limited edition launched by the FP Journe Geneva boutique to celebrate its first anniversary. So this is a 5-piece limited series for the Geneva boutique. You know that because you could see the edition number goes to 5, and the watch has a unique reference, TT, with the notation Geneva on the back. This is, and I cannot overemphasize, not the Tokyo boutique limited edition of 20. This is a completely different model. Now, the watch does cop the same look as the Tokyo boutique with a 40mm case, a ruthenium coated dial, a grade 5 titanium case, and a rose gold crown. All of it 40mm in diameter, 9.9mm thick, with 20mm spacings between the lugs and 2 different lug-to-lug measurements. There's the basic case, which is 48.5mm. That's how these watches initially would have been sold on a strap. The dimension would have been 48.5mm across the wrist, but this one was equipped with an optional matching grade 5 titanium bracelet, and its solid end links extend the watch 53.8mm across the wrist, which means it wears larger. Now, you can absolutely put this watch on a strap and wear it in a effectively smaller fit, but if you put it on the bracelet, it has a commanding wrist presence. All of this is in grade 5 tie, which is lighter than steel, but also more scratch resistant, so there's really no downside. Being flat, it'll fit underneath the cuff, and being light, it'll fit on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. Again, my wrist, for those who might be new to these videos, 16 centimeters circumference, wears this just fine. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, the design is the same as other FP Journe bracelets. It's a 5-link design in high polish with satinated flanks and removable links fixed by screws, but it is made of grade 5 titanium just like the case. There's a conforming end link, so all this has a very integrated look, and there are big enough gaps between the links that it won't pinch skin, pull hair, or trap wrist heat. We have a double folding clasp. It is a sequential fold with one side closing before the other, and you can see that the Journe nameplate goes second. We have more screw-fixed removable links on the opposite side rolling around the case. As with just about all FP Journe dress watch cases, we have a domed case back, a domed bezel, a mid case that is defined by the overlapping lip of the case back in the bezel, with integrated lugs. Everything is high polished. The lugs are tightly downturned, almost 90 degrees from the case band. The only external piece of rose gold on this watch is the signature FP Journe crown, 2 dimples, and then a knurling around the edge, that in rose gold. On the dial side, we do have quite a few changes from the standard Tourbillon Souverain, a watch which, upon its debut in 2004, won the GPHG Aiguille d'Or for the best overall watch of the year at the Oscars of watchmaking. So this is the Tourbillon Souverain, but it's more. It has a ruthenium-coated dial with a lovely rose gold gilt-style printing. We have rose gold hands here, and in contrast to the standard watch, which features a polished steel bezel framing the deadbeat second, hours, minutes, and tourbillon, this watch features satination across those bezel profiles, and you can see right on the edge of the satinated bezel we have a mirrored anglage. You can also see that matte finished screws in rose gold replace the steel polished screws used on the standard version of the watch. We have a power reserve indicator up at 12 o'clock, and as with most FP Journe watches that are dubbed chronomètre, we have a reverse movement to the power reserve. So like a marine chronometer, it indicates the number of hours since it was last wound rather than the hours still to run. And for 28 of its 42 hours of power reserve, the watch will maintain constant balance amplitude via constant force to the escapement. You see the little deadbeat second system right here, and you can see the 1-minute tourbillon, but what underpins that deadbeat second is actually the remontoir d'égalité, a mechanism that FP Journe first placed in a wristwatch back in 1991 when he built his prototype. It was the first ever wristwatch to incorporate a remontoir constant force device and a tourbillon. Well, this watch continues in that tradition. You can see that the mechanism, which uses a linear titanium spring, has a second escapement, and each second, a burst of energy from the barrel is transmitted through that second escapement to the escapement. that operates the tourbillon. So what you get is constant amplitude and constant force via 6-position adjustment with a free-sprung balance. You get a very, very even timekeeping on this watch. And it's even better because here we have an overcoil hairspring, a feature that, due to the more centered mass of the overcoil, allows this watch to keep better time in any physical position than a standard FP Journe watch with a flat hairspring. So really, the tourbillon is just here for aesthetics, and FP Journe has admitted as much. The features that make this watch as accurate as it is: 6-position regulation, a free-sprung balance, an overcoil hairspring, and that remontoire constant force device. Wind the watch at the same time every day, and the remontoire will always be in action. After 28 hours, the remontoire deactivates, and then the deadbeat second reverts to scrolling seconds or regular sweep seconds. So that's how you know it's not operating. The movement, as you can see, is caliber 1403. So the way this works is 14 is the size of the movement in French ligne. 03 is the year work started on the movement. So that's how FP Journe names his movements. You can see on the back the unique reference TT, Tourbillon Titan, Geneva, and rose gold bridges and plates, solid 18 karat here. The movement is made of rose gold, so though this is a titanium watch, it actually has a reasonable heft to it. We have beautiful stripes across the bridges. We have satination on the crown and ratchet wheel, and you'll appreciate all screw heads are black polished. So is the mechanism that underpins the remontoire. All wheels are satinated. There is mirrored anglage on the edge of the bridges, though to be perfectly honest, it's a combination of manual and mechanical finish on FP Journe watches. All of this pivots on 26 joules, and it beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. You can see a little nod to the pocket watch era in the design of the swan's neck style click spring, which you'll appreciate is integral with the click itself. And then the edges of the toothed edges of the crown and ratchet wheel are polished, which is a nice flourish. All of this water resistant down to 30 meters, so dress watch water resistance. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this 5-piece limited edition.